After the disappointment of Need for Speed The Run, Most Wanted is a brilliant and blistering return to form for EA's flagship racing series, but you'd expect nothing less coming from Criterion, the studio behind Hot Pursuit and the Burnout games. In fact, Most Wanted is a racing game for people who don't usually buy racing games, because you're not punished for deviating from that perfect racing line or for missing the crucial apex. In fact, deviation is something it actively encourages. You'll explore back roads and rooftops, beaches and factories, but Most Wanted, as its title suggests, also encourages deviance. You'll break the speed limit, ram police cars into oncoming traffic, and jump across unfinished bridges, and you'll be rewarded for it too. Need for Speed Most Wanted is an impeccably well-made game. The attention to detail is quite extraordinary, and the production values are frequently astonishing, and it's the cumulative effect of all these little touches that makes Most Wanted such a stunning and accomplished game. But time and care have also been invested into planning the streets of Fairhaven. At first, the city seems limited, a little samey and urban, but over the course of the game you'll explore its hidden depths, and see sides you never knew existed, from underground tunnels to power plants and airplane graveyards. The whole experience is wonderfully continuous. When the race ends, it doesn't reset the world. The action seamlessly carries on. So if you were being chased by the police at the end of your last race, they'll still be on your tail when it's over. This fluid experience is further enhanced by Easy Drive, which enables you to access every aspect of the game, from races to your garage of cars, without ever taking you away from the tarmac. The aim of the game is to become the city's best street racer. To achieve this, you need to rack up speed points by winning races, setting off speed cameras, and evading the cops. Crucially, speed points give you the edge by enabling you to mod your cars, adding nitrous, switching chassis, and more. The same mods are available to each car, but you'll have to start from scratch every time. It's slightly repetitive to unlock the same mods time and again, but the variety of races themselves make up for it. Of course, you could just jack a better car. One of the best things about Most Wanted is that most of its 41 cars are available to drive right from the start, from the mundane Lancia Delta to the highly desirable Aston Martin V12 Vantage. You just have to find them. Each car has 5 races of varying difficulty open to it, and they're fairly varied too, from straightforward circuit races to speed runs, which require you to maintain a ludicrously high average speed while avoiding traffic. Most races are complicated by the presence of Fairhaven's cops. They'll do everything they can to stop the race by ramming you off the road, dropping spike strips in your path and blocking entire intersections. But over time you'll come to know not only the streets of Fairhaven, but also its back alleys. A big part of the fun is antagonising and losing the boys in blue, whether that's by venturing into one of the city's many restricted areas, or patiently hiding in the shadows like Ryan Gosling in Drive. Once you've acquired a respectable amount of speed points, you'll be able to take on the city's most notorious racers one by one. 10 races stand between you and your ultimate goal of becoming Fairhaven's Most Wanted. These racers drive the most desirable cars in the game, from concept designs to the absurdly fast Bugatti Veyron, and if you can beat them, you can take their wheels. They're kind of like boss battles, periodically testing your skills. Gameplay is really accessible, and the car's handling is wonderfully unrealistic. Once you have mastered drifting around corners and how to use nitrous effectively, you'll find yourself competitive in most races. It's incredibly fast and frantic. You'll crash and jostle with other racers, frequently engineering the misfortune of those around you. You'll discover shortcuts on the fly that help you take the lead, and when it all comes together, as it frequently does, it's genuinely exciting. Although Easy Drive theoretically lets you mod your car on the fly when travelling at such high speeds, it's really not all that practical. If you know an off-road section is coming up, switching tyres just isn't worth the risk of crashing into a wall. It's also a shame that some cars are restricted to certain races, but these are minor gripes that don't take the sheen away from what is an otherwise perfectly polished game. In multiplayer, Fairhaven will be populated by your friends. You can choose to drive together or take part in set lists, which combine events in different ways, from team races to seeing who can make the biggest jump. It's all underpinned by the game's same free-flowing nature. But even if multiplayer isn't your thing, you'll constantly be compared with your friends to see who is currently the most wanted. You'll be judged on so many different aspects. It's all done subtly and effectively, and is a really smart, unobtrusive way of introducing competition into the very landscape around you. Need for Speed Most Wanted is a game that craves speed and rewards aggression and risk-taking. Equally, it has a healthy disregard for reality and the laws of physics. You'll jump improbable distances, drift around corners with shredded tyres, and drive away from the most spectacular crashes unharmed. But the execution of Most Wanted is so good. You'll find quality in almost every aspect. The visuals, the gameplay, the world design, it all combines to make Most Wanted one of this year's most exhilarating experiences. For the latest on Need for Speed Most Wanted, keep it locked on IGN.